talking. Welcome to FTB Weekends. It is Saturday, the 22nd of October, almost Halloween. I am, of course, Jason C. McLean. There I am. And, of course, welcome, as always, Dawn McSweeney. How's it going, Dawn?
Hello, it's good.
It's good. You know what? Let's start right away across the pond, as they say in the UK. I guess you could now say that there is officially a lack of trust in the British government.
Yeah, and so I didn't know about how their system works and stuff, but it seems like as long as they keep when the people resign like that, they're resigning from being the leader of the party. And so the party itself picks the new leader, which then effectively becomes the new prime minister. So at this point now, because of the fact that this has gone bad 3 prime ministers in a row, there actually a lot of people are calling for a general election whereby they'd be left to all the parties again instead of just this party that's technically in power.
Yeah. So just to
So it's a different electoral system.
A couple of days ago, on October the 20th, Prime Minister Liz Truss, hence the lack of trust in the British government, Liz Truss, after 45 days in office, resigned. I had to repeat the joke, so you make sure. Okay. After 45.
Oh no, I heard you.
You just didn't laugh. I thought did you not know her name? Did you not know the name of the prime? Okay. Yeah. So after just 45 days in office, Liz Truss, who the day before had said in Parliament she was not going anywhere, said that she was going to resign as prime minister for the good of the country. Her actual initial tenure was really, she basically almost tanked the pound. She basically tried to do tax cuts for the super rich, and that was her whole thing, cutting back, basically something nobody really voted for, because nobody actually really voted for her as prime minister. I don't know. I mean, yeah, like the system, we have that system in Canada too. That's how the first time Paul Martin became prime minister before winning a minority government, he became, because Chrétien stepped down. When Kim Campbell was a prime minister, she took over for Mulroney and then promptly lost to Chrétien resoundingly.
Well, so I guess it's just never been a situation whereby Canada's system has never been tested to see what happens if that happens 3 times successively, so that there hasn't been a general election since. Apparently, it's kind of strange that way, in that a small minority of people is actually technically in charge of picking the prime minister, and then he goes, hey, sorry, peace, can't do my job, and then they're like, okay, we're just going to do that again instead of having all the people vote.
Yeah,
it's never been tested to that extent.
Yeah, at least in Canada, whenever the prime minister resigned or something, yes, they put in someone new who would become prime minister, but it would be understood they'd just be there for a few months.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So this is kind of wild to me how it's working. So I've learned a lot about it.
One of the saddest things we had was that the coalition government didn't go through, because everyone thought that you're voting for prime minister. When Stephen Harper won a minority government, but the Liberals and the NDP were talking about forming a coalition. You remember he prorogued Parliament? Because they
starting to get out of my pay grade, Jay.
Sorry, Stefanzio and Jack Layton together had more votes and more seats than Harper, so they could have actually formed the government if the Governor General had agreed. You know what? Maybe people should just start in England, just start voting for the monarch, for the king.
This is a whole can. That's a whole can. I don't even want to contemplate that can.
With the British monarchy.
Wait. I could segue off a king. So there's this chess situation. Whew, I'm not sure if you were handing that to me on purpose or if I was just.
No.
Okay. What's his name? Hans Niemann, I believe is his name. Am I getting that correct? Anyway, this chess master guy, he's like 19 years old. He looks like a cross between a magician and a young either
Hans Niemann. Yes,
he looks like
Hans Niemann.
There's never been a chess guy who looks like he could have been in Green Day 20 years ago, or looks like he could, he's got this magician young Johnny Depp look, which is not what they're used to in that. So I understand he's already a black sheep from that. But then, so he apparently, according to chess.com, well, according to everybody, so he had publicly admitted to cheating on chess.com years ago. So online cheating, which makes sense to me. I suppose you can be Googling stuff, whatever. But then they started accusing him, like a guy accused him, I believe it was September 4th, that he publicly knocked down his stuff and forfeited a game because he was like, This kid is cheating. Now, part of it is really nerdy, but I deep dove into it because it's very curious to me. He kind of came out of nowhere and gained popularity and gained numbers fast to get his ranks up. And they're like, statistically, that's anomalous. Normally, it would have been somebody who started younger. We would have seen blah, 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 blah. So they were suspicious of how he got in. Once again, kind of black sheepish. But then literally, when they were doing like metal checks of him, once they accused him of cheating again, that guy accused him, like he was being seriously checked. So he's filed a 100
Carlson.
Yeah,
He's the one who Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champ.
So now Neiman has filed a $100 million lawsuit for defamation and a bunch of other stuff against a collection of people, including chess.com, who has responded that they think it's unfortunate because he's publicly admitted to that. But long story short, they've accused him of cheating in tournaments in live action. And listen, I'm not a great chess player, but how do you do that? Like, I mean, how do you cheat in front of somebody in chess? So they had some extraordinary graphic and strange theories on how this could have been done. I will let the people Google that because it's weird and gross.
It's not like they're like still the person's not looking to take a piece and they move it to a different square.
This is what I'm saying. So there are some weird theories about how one could possibly cheat in person, and they've accused him of him. And it was really, he's lost a lot of sponsorships, not sponsorships, tournament invites, stuff like that. And it's really done irreparable damage at this point to his name. So this is a very interesting lawsuit. And really, how often does chess get this interesting? But also seriously, how do you cheat at chess?
If he loses this law, if he loses this lawsuit this lawsuit basically went against all the powers that be in chess. So if he loses this lawsuit, you could just basically say it's checkmate to his chess career, right? Okay, I had to say that. Okay, no, but seriously, like I'm thinking though, if somebody's like Googling a move, but the thing is, in chess, it's all about like deciding like what to do and making a decision based on your knowledge. If you Google the knowledge, is that really cheating?
Well, yes, because you should have Googled it beforehand, and it's one of those things like taking a crib notes into a test. I would say that the game itself is the test, but that's why online tournament, that's why there was credibility to the fact that apparently he was cheating online. That was what chess.com says he publicly admitted to previously.
When he was 12 and 16. When he was 12 and 16, now he's 19. Now I know he was maybe a minor before. When you're 12 years old, you cheat once. At 16, maybe it shows a pattern. Maybe it shows the potentially.
But once again, 19. Online versus in person. And let me tell you, unless you're pulling some magic, it's a pretty interesting concept to accuse somebody of like, we're sitting here together and we're playing chess. How am I cheating right now? So
well, we're gonna stay really nerdy. It just reminded me of this episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It was kind of like a Cyrano de Bergerac thing where
we've just alienated half at least of our audience. Go on.
No, and we really pleased the other. What, you mean the Voyager fans? No, no, but there was this episode where basically Worf was guiding Quark's like movements like through radio, through transmission. You know, the whole talking in someone's ear, giving them the lines to say. Like I could imagine there being a movie about this chess scandal where he's got the little bug in the ear, and there's some brilliant person tied up in the basement going, "Move your rook to queen."
Well, when they do like I said, when they do a scan of somebody with the little handheld boop dee to go into the tournament, there is video available online of just when they were scanning him most recently. They were scanning him. It was scanning.
They're checking. He doesn't have like rooks hidden in his pocket.
Yeah, like they were checking him for bugs and stuff. And once again, people can feel free to Google some of the theories on how it would happen. But frankly, as I see it, I'm not sure how it happens. I don't know that it could happen. Also, he might just be really good at chess and annoying as a person, right? Like then that would people are just mad that he doesn't fit the mold. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Okay, that's probably the biggest scandal since nobody ever really answered me correctly why a horse moves in an L formation. But like that's just how, I mean, it goes 1, 2, 3. It doesn't make any sense. Like that's not how horses go in straight lines.
This is the nerdiest episode we've done in a while, Jay.
Okay, so you want to talk about the Lakeshore Hospital, right? Briefly.
Oh, that's just annoying. Can I just tell you again how the Quebec system, medical system is broken? And I know we re-elected Legault, so we could really expect no further motion on that, considering how little he seems to care about doing his job. But yeah, I heard through a grapevine, I heard there's somebody dear to me who's waiting for biopsy results that were and of various other tests that were done at the Lakeshore in July. So it's interesting that there are still no results to be found on something as important as a biopsy, and to which I found out through, once again, a dermatological information stream that the Lakeshore Hospital is currently up to 8 months behind on lab results, and that they were very late recently in diagnosing some skin cancer, and that it had spread quite significantly in the waiting time. So once again, while this is all anecdotal, this is what's really going on the ground. When our medical system collapses, it's not just a matter of people who find it hard to get into a clinic for their sniffles. It's really much more tragic and potentially life-threatening.
Yeah. So that's something that
So
obviously
once
needs
again,
to be
avoid the
fixed
Lakeshore at all costs. The
if you
whole
can.
system is
Yeah.
broken, but avoid the
Yeah.
Lakeshore.
Okay. All right. And avoid cheating in chess, and avoid just becoming prime minister for a few weeks just because you think you can hack it. It's kind of like, like a pet is a pet for life. Well, a
Yeah,
prime minister job is a prime minister job for at least a few years.
it
And
should be
you can't just try
45
it out.
days, man.
Yeah, lack of trust in the UK and the scandal rocking the chess world, biggest scandal since the horse that moves like an L. Anyways, you can follow Dawn McSweeney at McMoxie on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at Jason McLean. What? I'm gonna get my own handle right. Jason C. McLean on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow Forget the Box at Forget the Box on Twitter and Instagram. And if you were watching this on Facebook, like, share, follow Forget the Box. If you're on the YouTube, smash that like button, ring the bell for notifications, and obviously we're going to be back next week with our Halloween spooktacular here on FTB Weekends. That's going to be fun. We have a guest. It's going to be fun. And we're for daily, get our Android app, and for daily content, check out forgetthebox.net, and we'll catch you next weekend for another FTB Weekends.